Yeah. So I'm gonna start making notes and shit. Nobody know how long we gonna be here, and that ain't even the point. The whole point is, did you do what God told you to do? And every day I think that, and I'm like, what the fuck am I not doing? I know what I'm not doing. I know what I'm supposed to do. I just make excuses about roadblock circumstances. Whoop-de-woo. The list goes on and on. But that little thing you do every day can change everything. And the whole point is, this is just a relationship, everything. Like, there's nobody here but you. That's what they say the scary thing about being alive is. There's nobody here else on earth but you. Yes, there's other, aliens, other people and animals and whatnot, but it's all you. So it's like, yeah, this is our relationship with you and the infinite, your source, which is also you. So you need to please you. You need to work towards your favor or your highest self-favor, the supreme favor. And whatever that may be, only you know. Because can't nobody access that encrypted communication between you and source. Yes, they may study you. They might know all these things about you. You know what I mean? They know, your thoughts. They can read your heart. Whatever, right? But you can't tell me they can read God. That don't even make sense. So, yeah, when God speaks to you, I don't think, even no matter how much they study you, I don't think they can hear what he's telling you. That's why they look in your thoughts to see if they can find a way to fuck it up, or because, they still want to be God or whatever, or whatever the case is. Really, that don't matter. Just know that there's people who oppose you. Study your enemies, but study God even more. Because it's important to know them, but it's even more important or vital to know you. Your biggest enemy is your incompetence, wherever you lack within self. Because once you get all of that discipline and alignment in its full functional capacity that it can get, the rest will fall in place. It has no choice but to, because non-physical run this shit. Everything. You can't stop. It's like, I don't give a fuck what weapons of mass destruction they have. You can't fucking stop a tornado or a hurricane. Like, you got all this technology and shit, but you still can't build the pyramids. I'm sure they could. They just tell you that they could. Because they took everything we taught them and then they made it, downplayed it, and made it seem, demonized it, and then now they're doing it in a subtle, seamless version. So then that way they can be like, generations on down when all that shit is lost and forgotten, or should we say, whitewashed and distorted, they're trying to make us as black people, original man and woman, a thing of like a myth. Like there may or may have been a such thing, kind of like the Native Americans. May have been such thing, because now all the Native Americans that you find, or the ones that be trying to play like that, is the white people, right? So it's like, that's nor here nor there, but the point, it is, but it's like, the point I'm getting at is they want to make us seem like some lost artifact, you know what I'm saying, like some lost civilization that they're not sure existed. Mythical. And they can tell the future generations, like, yeah, they might have been really good at basketball and music and stuff like that, and they kind of taught us everything, but we're going to move on from that because we don't know if it's true or not, right? So that's the whole deal with that, is to make it because that's why I said they want to be God so bad. They're willing to go the lengths. They willing to do the whole nine to do so, whatever it takes, which makes sense, because that's what God created them to do. So how you gonna be mad at them? That's where we get it fucked up. We get mad at them. We get our feelings involved. Buddha teaches us not to detach from everything. You know what I mean? Like the middle path, the balance between the two extremes. So you can't be too righteous, and you can't be too wicked. You can't be too materialistic, but you can't be too spiritual. You gotta find balance. So really, we just need to seek balance where in all ways that is possible. Because there's such thing as being too much of anything. That's why I said be like water. Water can flow or water can crash. You put water into a bottle, it takes whatever shape that you put it in. Water is, one of the most essential elements to life, to sustain life. Air, of course, being the first, but, how do you explain that to a fish? You know what I'm saying? But, the point is, to make ourselves fully activated. So then that way we are the solutions, so pretty much there are people who, I feel like it's something that wasn't of this world or earth, which they said we're not from here either. We are the aliens. We was able to fly the UFOs and all that shit. They said the pyramids was actually like it was like part of the UFO, or like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like it was like a landing point, like where the helicopters go and shit. I forgot exactly. All these things is built with all this advanced technology, and yet we, you know what I'm saying? Like, who exactly said we are from here? You know what I'm saying? Because they're saying, I've heard stories that, well, we'll get into that later. But yeah, just saying, as if there was life on Mars, they found a face on Mars, and right on the side of that was sacred geometry. Was it the octahedron? I forgot which one it was. But there used to be water on there. It obviously had an atmosphere and everything, right? But it got blown away because it's all radiation now. Sound like some humans type shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get this part done. We'll get into all the other shit later. Guy said, I don't want to paraphrase and say nothing, misquote or nothing, but that was the point, is that we were them, we are them, we just forgot. And that's why we call them aliens now, because they demonize anything that isn't going to allow them to remain in power. Because the minute we remember that, well, there goes that. But but back to what I was saying, we're just supposed to be trying to get fully activated. We were able to, that's what I was saying. We started, they say we actually come from Venus. And, I'm sure you know by now. I don't really know what I know. Part of what I study, part of what I've learned from other people, and also what I've experienced on my own spiritual journey. So, it's just, it'd be some shit, man. It's like, it's one thing to read it in a book. It's a whole nother to experience it yourself, within yourself. Because that's where it all is. Like Sadhguru says, where are you experiencing life? And he'll look at you and wait for you to answer. And then you'd be like, here. Where's here? And then they'll point to their, they'll point to, like pretty much the moral of the story is you're experiencing life from within you. People think life is happening outside of them. That's why when they think they die, they actually just, they'll disappear because their body disappears. Well, really, all you know is, within you. So everything is happening from within you. So that means you're creating this whole reality, this, projecting it. It's like all of this shit is happening from inside of you because you're not experiencing life outside of you. It's not like you can reach out and touch your life. You feel your senses would enable you to experience the life. So all of this is just a projection of what you're creating with infinite intelligence. The same infinite intelligence that's been in the planet is the same thing that you're functioning in and on, that's creating the world as you move in it and as your heartbeat, as you experience it. Remember, it's cosmic theatrics. This is all theatrics, cosmic play, universe, one song. So we're supposed to sing, we're supposed to dance, we're supposed to laugh, we're supposed to cry, we're supposed to, what I'm saying? When it comes to a play, I want to say something real quick. Have you ever touched a wall in your dream? If so, if you had any type of, like, say you was running from something, it's a nightmare or something, right? You running, and then there's a wall in front of you, but it stops you. You grab it, you touch it, you feel it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done had dreams where I done had all type of shit happen to me, right? But just saying, to put this into context, though, there's a wall. So how do you know that the same way your infinite intelligence or your mind, because they say dreams is actually like, that's the astral realm. So that does exist. You know what I mean? That is just as real as the physical, the third dimension. So they're all just dimensions, right? So, but you're still creating all of these with your mind, infinite intelligence. The same thing that's beating your heart, the same thing that's shining the sun, the same thing that's spinning the planet and growing the grass, right? So, yeah. So when you touch that wall, it's just as physical as the wall you would touch in your waking life. You know what I'm saying? So all of it is just a projection of that, what's, your spirit is creating all of this like a hologram, but a hologram that's so vivid is tangible. You can physically interact with it. But nonetheless, it is just as, like, you only know it from based on what your senses will allow you to perceive. But there's stuff beyond your senses that's going on. That's a whole nother story. But so say like a blind person, you can't explain to them what the hell colors is what. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you probably could, but they're not going to see it the same way you do. And just that's the whole thing with it's all based on how you creating it inside of you, or what the infinite intelligence is creating inside of your orbit, your frequency, you know what I'm saying? Like in your frequency. So all of this is just like, you know what I'm saying? What's the word I'm looking for? So it's like, yeah. Excuse me. You just experiencing life with your senses, which is all inside of you. So you're actually experiencing the whole life inside of you. So even though this shit looks solid, it's still a projection. Just like, in Atlantis, in Lemuria, ancient civilization,
we were at such a high frequency we could move through walls and all that shit, right? Like the superheroes. Um, but that's only because we fell from consciousness that we can't do it no more, and then that we have certain power structures that's trying to keep us from accessing our, um, you know, what we could do, you know, regardless if it's advanced technology or our abilities, you know. So that's a whole nother story. But yeah, let me let this finish first.
Like a musical slash movie slash, you know what I mean? So many things, comedy. You know, God is the creator of all things, so He wants to see it all. He wants to, believe it or not, wars, fucking misfortune, like walking into a lion's den. You know what I'm saying? He wants it all. Like he wants to cry when he watches this or experiencing it because he's experiencing it through us because it's like he who what no that's me, you know what I'm saying? I'm the only one here. I'm just here in individual vantage points experiencing right now. I can only tap into Laron because the whole earth's frequency is down, like fucking internet connection or something. But once we get the internet connection back up, we get them out of power. We take them off the military base off the chakra points of the planet. We get back to worshiping the sacred. Then we're all going to be connected through the real internet, the real Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? Which is telepathy.
And worship in the sacred meaning like God is everything, omnipotent, omniscient. So, you know, the same. You look at it, everything with the same reverence, the same, you know what I'm saying, intention as you would source. Living things, inanimate objects, you name it. It's all God's grace. It's all God's creations. Not to say to worship like a rock, right? But it's just to say like that God is still in that. So it's really just the it's like thanking rather than worshiping. It's not like putting it on a pedestal, but it's just realizing the essence is in everything. So you can't really look at anything without looking at God. So just realize it's like the Alex Gray picture where it's like he's looking up at the sky and he has like there's like a whole bunch of eyes. Um, yeah. So the infinite is infinite everywhere, all things, at all times.
So we'll move as one and be in sync like a heartbeat, and then it'll be as simple. It'll be. I can go so deep with this. So pretty much already did. It's like that already explains everything in a nutshell. It's like get them out the fucking way, and you'll see why shit is the way it is. It's not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be like this. But it is supposed to be like this at the same time. It has the potential to be either or. The worst of the worst or the best of the best. Why? I would say it is supposed to be like this because this is that catalyst that I was telling you about. So this is what was I saying? Like the difference between going to boot camp and actually serving in wars for decades. A person that tries to fight somebody who's been in a war for decades, who only been to boot camp, ain't gonna last 5 minutes. So the whole point is that God is like, no, fuck boot camp. I want y'all to be the best of the best, and that's what you unconsciously ask for. You know what I'm saying? You want all this shit. You did all this shit before. We know this. Atlantis, Lemuria, Kemet. Okay, what else can you do? The movie ain't over. The game ain't over. So what else you gonna do? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a whole new villain. Cause I'm sure we had villains back then, but we just figured shit out. Shit wasn't as tough back then, or maybe it was, and we was just that nigga. You know what I mean? And we just did not play no games, and that shit was not flying. So they had to up their game because it's always gonna be like tug of war. It's always gonna be they're winning, we're winning. It's like a sports game, you know. half quarter is looking shaky.
So like, God was like, y'all won. Y'all been winning for this amount of years, probably longer than them, right? The wicked. So then he gave what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say? I think Yaqub gets 6,000 years to reign. But anyways, regardless, the point is like we're taking turns over who has dominion or like which side of God is has reign over the earth. Because like I said, I don't really believe in the. I mean, there might be a devil, but it's not like he can oppose God. You can't nothing oppose God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. And it's just like, so basically what I'm trying to say is yeah, yeah, even to say that as an insult, it's like what? Do you know who you talking about? But yeah, so what I was saying is like he's like letting that side of him get some you know what I'm saying? Because it's like a test. It's like training. It's like I want to see what my soldiers, the ones that really say they about me and willing to go through anything, because to show me that they serious, they all the way with it, all in, and faith is unmatched. I want to see y'all go through everything I come up with and still come out, you know what I mean, praising me and, loving me and stuff without it being not even a little bit changed in your perception of me. So, yeah, it's like how they said the rites of passage is like how your father put you out in the, like in the woods or whatever, and you have to find your way back. You probably gonna fight a couple coyotes or something, some mountain lions, and and it's just like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? God's like, hey, as long as you get back home, I got you. You didn't know I'm everywhere. So I was up in the tree watching, and I was going to intervene as soon as that got too heavy for you. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to make it, but not everybody has God's favor. So that's another story. But what I was going to say is God is testing us by letting all this shit happen. But then after all the wars and shit, like y'all seen, what's it called? Jacob's Ladder? It's Jacob's Ladder, right? Where it's like, it starts off, pretty much it's showing our evolution process. It's like in a spiral. So it's like, starts off as like a single cell amoeba, you know what I mean? Single cell organism, then to like a tadpole, then to like a fish, then a lizard, and then, start getting on land, and then it gets up, and then it goes from like the caveman, Neanderthals, whatever. Even though I don't subscribe to that, at least not for black people. And then it goes up, and it just keeps going up. You see us, thriving and stuff, and then it reaches a point where nuclear warfare. And you see this, what I would assume is atomic bomb. I mean, a nuclear bomb. Get nuked, Earth, it's like orbs after that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like rebuilding. It's just like God hit a reset button or something. And it's just like, then you just see like crystalline, angelic type stuff after that. And it just keeps getting higher and better and higher frequency the whole way up, right? And then at the top is, I have to show you it. But I don't want to misdescribe, is that a word? I don't want to describe that in a bad way to where it turns you off and you be like, that's not what, yeah, anyway, never mind that. No, I'm always, you know what the fuck I'm saying. Look up Jacob's Ladder, and it's definitely put some things into perspective. So you kind of see like, oh, okay, yeah, we always been in this process of moving towards, um, God frequency again. And it's like through each evolution, we just kept getting better. And then, as they say, the worst has to come, and then, you know, uh, then that'll be what regulates or that recalibrates, whatever you want to call it. Then it'll make it where we have the next evolution after that. They say it's gonna get worse before it gets better, so they say. But I guess we gonna see.
And then, by the fourth quarter, it's like, oh shit, they came all the way back and they slamming them, whoopie woo. All right. So, yeah, it's like a sports game, competition, right? Between good and evil, or wicked and righteous, should I say? Because there's no such thing as really good or bad. Because it's all perception. It's all in your head. Just like the whole reality projection that we experience as ourselves. It's like a fucking dream. Like the meme they be having, they be like, what if when you die, you wake up and you realize you took a psychedelic or something like that? It's like life is like like a bad trip or something like that. Or it could be a good and bad trip because your life ain't all bad. So it's a good and bad trip. From like the most superest God tier fucking psychedelic, and you just thought you was alive for a second. I mean, what is alive at that point? If that makes sense. But that you manifested yourself into a physical flesh vessel because you're all things. So that is kind of weird. It's like, well, I am a nebulous mist. I am a motherfucking... I'm everything. Everywhere, at all times, all things. And then I just decide to make myself, this little... You know what I mean?
Flesh sack.
Like this little flesh... Or this little meat bag. What the fuck even is meat? When you're a deity, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm trying to look at it from God's perspective or my non-physical perspective. It's like what even is meat? But what is even life? You know what I'm saying? What is the grass? What is the tree? Like this whole fucking shit took infinite intelligence. Like you know how fucking intelligent God had to be to think, but in order for it to be oxygen, or for them to be alive, or for me to experience myself as a flesh vessel, there's got to be oxygen. And in order to do that, there's got to be water in the air. And then, the fucking tectonic plates and the sun orbiting around the earth orbiting around the sun. Whoopie-whoop. You know what I'm saying? All this shit just, so, you know what I'm saying? What's the word for the best or phenomenal? You know what I'm saying? Just this most...
Didn't they say God made all this shit in a day? It's like first, it was like 6 days, 7 days. Like first, he said, let there, you know what I'm saying? It went from light, then it was like, I think, then there was water, or there's the planet, then there's earth, then there's water, something like that. They were saying it was like, he made this shit in a day. So you mean all the intricacies, all the details about life, the planets, the way they're in perfect alignment to... I was just watching... I ain't gonna get into that. But anyway, yeah. And you mean to tell me something is powerful enough to create that? Thought about everything that... it's damn. That's the only thing a person can say. Just shock and motherfucking awe.
Amazing way. It was just like, damn, you put some thought into this. And it's just like, okay, so it all makes sense now. It's cosmic theatrics. It's all just for you to be like, damn, that was a good ride at the end. Or
that was a good movie.
Now I see what I couldn't see what was on my nose. Like life is a reflection of what's going on within you. And remember where you experiencing life. So then that's to say, everything is literally like even the state of the planet. It's all because of how we feel within ourselves, or how we are within ourselves. Not just how we feel, but how we are. So if we're eating wrong, we're consuming the wrong environments, the wrong media, or the wrong.
Hey, y'all remember that movie? Was it Osmosis Jones? Where they were like the germs and shit? It's kind of like that. So we're the expression of God that's experiencing itself. So he like, in order for me to know what I am, I have to experience it from a cellular subatomic level, like a germ. You know what I'm saying? So that's him looking through us, experiencing himself through us, which is him still. But it's just like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like he had to. We're like the germs essentially, you know. Compared to God, it's like just something that is, you know, like he's like, I want to see what is, you know, what all is going on inside me, kind of thing. Like God's like on his throne, like at all times. It's like over everything, right? And it's just like, but he cares about us so much. So I don't know. It wouldn't be like a germ then, because no, he cares about us too much for it to be something simple. Well, no, he cares about every single detail, every cell, every atom, everything. A fucking dust spectacle doesn't get blown without him doing it in a certain way, in an intricate and beautiful way. You know what I'm saying? Every single thing God puts his all into you. You can tell. But yeah, that's another story.
Information and you know what I'm saying? The wrong doctrines or you know what I'm saying? Like scriptures and shit like that. Then it's all going to morph into the reality we have now. Had we had the right doctrines, the right scriptures, the right, you know what I'm saying? The right food. Because let's not go into food. We know how fake that shit is, right? So, but the rest is everything else too. But that's to say, if we did, then imagine what we could do, as well as actually being in unison and then being able to stop the enemy, whoever that may be, that wants to destroy all humans, or it might be all life. I think they have something against. No, it's all life, because you see what they're doing to the animals, you see what they're doing to the insects. So yeah, it is all life. They're trying to destroy all life. Yeah, let me how to crack myself. Yeah, no, it ain't just humans. So they want to play God. They like, no, we don't like none of y'all. We want to be the only thing here, whatever the fuck that is. I don't think it's necessarily something of this world that's fleshly or anything like that. I think they just controlling the ones that, you know, their vessels, because you know how I say white people was created, but that's another story. Because who could do something like that to a whole people? You know what I'm saying? And then sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? No. Let's not go there. I'll explain that later if you didn't already know. But it makes sense though, because once it's like you understand that, you understand what's going on, especially with the shit I've been saying. It's like I can keep going, but it's just like at this point, you know, you just gotta be careful of how, you know, because people, some like the chaos, some like the self-sabotage and the self-destruction and all that. Like, I've tried to save people who literally tried to attack me for trying to save them. Makes no fucking sense to a logical person in their right mind, but, you know, that's the way this shit works. You can't rush a flower to grow. You can't be shining motherfucking LED lights in a person's face while they sleeping and expect them not to get up and try to fight you. So it's just like, yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't, you know? It's like, well, I had good intentions, but that's not the way they perceived it. So you...
It's like Blade when he came in there with that, what was it, the UV ray light? That purple light when he shined it on the big blob ass motherfucker. He started frying them. Yeah, that's what I imagine in my mind while I'm saying stuff like that. Like, yeah, you come in there, you the light, it singes motherfuckers. That shit burns. So you gotta know, there ain't no like, oh, I'm not telling you to suppress your chakra or nothing. I'm not telling you to suppress your energy, or to not be yourself. I'm just saying, like, realize they're having a fucking, you know what I'm saying, a malfunction, or, you know what I'm saying, they're having like some type of reaction to your light. And especially when you go in and you know, you have the word of God, or you're speaking life into them or whatever, because that's light, you know, that's, you know, like, yeah, you know. So, but regardless, it's singeing their ass. So you just gotta be mindful of that. Don't take it personal how they react, is what I'm getting at, because they don't even know that they don't know, or some of them do know and they're just wicked by nature, and they're like hissing at you and spitting venom at you and shit like that, right? So you just gotta be aware that it's a big world out there. Everything you can think of, it exists. So try your best to move with you know, as I said earlier, consciously, grounded, and your highest frequency, meaning alignment. So, I mean, of course there's more, but those are the main things. Alignment. Boom. That just wraps it all up. You can't be in alignment if you're lacking in some area, because that's like a full body. That's a full alignment, like all the way tapped in. So even though there's levels to that too, but we'll get into that later.
You got to know how to teach, not just what to teach, but how to teach, because not everybody learns the same way. You gotta keep that in mind as well. Some people are audio learners, visual learners, hands-on learners, and so on and so forth. So one thing I noticed from my closest friend is I learned the most from him because he taught me through action. And it was like he didn't articulate. I'm pretty sure he could, or even if he didn't know how to put it into words, that was the most effective, at least for me. Like, I realized that I have value, and because I can articulate it. Because there's certain people I've learned from where I was like, damn, that was some real ass shit. That shit hit my soul. That hit home. And it's like, so I'm definitely more, I want to say hands-on. But I feel like it's all forms for me, because it just depends on my receptivity at the time. So I don't know. It might be different for everybody else. I don't know. Maybe everybody is the same way, and we just all learn whatever we're in the vibration or the time and synchronicity for. So it's just like, so I had shit that hit home, and I be saying some shit where it's like, okay, well, I'm sure if a person knew this, they could change their life. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, a lot of the problems I had was from what I was not shown, what I was not taught, like knowledge that was bestowed to me for me to save myself with, in a system designed to destroy, especially young black men. So it's like, well, let's just say black people in general, because now the girls, you know, I mean, not now, but they getting it just as bad. I'm not going to try to downplay that in any way, shape, or fashion. So, but yeah, like I said, whatever it is that's doing it is not human, and they don't give a fuck about nobody. So now they getting it. You know what I mean? Nobody's exempt. Everybody getting that work. Now I be seeing fucking, you name it, every fucking race getting destroyed by whatever the fuck this is that tried to enslave black people. Because now look at it. Just look. Look around. You see it? It's like, yeah. It's all fucking tight.
They had to enslave, in order for them to keep us as black people enslaved, they had to enslave the whole world. So now nobody, not even their own, is exempt. Unless shit hits the fan, it's like a race war or something, then they'll be calling in every white person they can find on the earth, right? But it's more so like they're like, fuck all of that depopulation and make sure we keep the gods from waking up, the original man and the original woman. Make sure at all motherfucking costs, any means necessary, do not let these niggas wake up. Do not let them unify. Do not let them, as Bob Marley said, they said, kill them while they're young. Kill them before they grow. So they're very adamant. Like, I think there's probably more put in to destroying us as black people than there is anything that anything that anybody can come up with on the planet. I don't care what shit people be studying or what anything. No, they like, no, y'all is no. You know what I'm saying? So if they mad at us for actually being God and they void God because of whatever they went through in the Ice Age, I might as well just say it for you now. Okay, so I was reading the survival strategies, and what he was saying in there was back in the Ice Age, they were us. You know, they're all lifestyle in Africa, so they were essentially black. They're like our long lost distant cousins, right? So all humans are, you know, family. You know, we're all one family, right? And you know, that's the reason why we had regions and dialects, but we didn't have race until motherfuckers, you know, decided to think they want to run shit or wanted to you know what I'm saying? You know how they are. Anyway, we'll get into that later. But so then they ended up getting trapped behind the ice, and after that they started to devolve, is what I like to say. So this ain't what he's saying in his book, but this is my assessment of what he was saying. Okay, so they behind the Ice Age, generations, hundreds of generations down. Like, think about it, they're just devolving. No sunlight, got a, you know, man eat dog eat dog world, you know, they surviving. Then they started getting so low, like, to where they feel like God's punishing them because they're stuck behind the ice with all these fucking, you know what I'm saying, creatures trying to eat them and shit like that, motherfuckers killing each other, you know what I'm saying, you name it, they were doing everything. I don't even know if I could talk about this on YouTube, honestly, but just best believe, you know, we'll get into this later, but they were doing everything. So they were devolving in every aspect, you name it a word. So they, you know, he said their hair got thinner, their nose got thinner, they grew more hair. So we were never the Neanderthals, right? But, you know what I'm saying, like, but they had to grow more hair and stuff and all that. Like, even in their nostrils to make the air warmer, like, that's why their nostrils is like that, more pointy. Stuff like that to make it heat up. I don't know. That's a lot. I can't remember everything right now. But yeah, so they had to adapt to the environment, which makes sense. But it's just like, so it's like, you put that in perspective, they felt like God was punishing them. Then on top of that, they're after generations down, it's like a game of telephone. So you're telling your kids, however long that goes, right? After a while, after them telling them that God's punishing them, they start to morph into that frequency that they're creating, because now they're probably worshiping lower level entities. So then when we, you know, the Moors come in there, find them, and we tell them, you know, how to, you know, be upright human beings again, and teach them how to be upright human beings, bathe, you know what I'm saying, all that, right? Once we start teaching them all that, bring them out of there, and they still have that nature inside of them that God has punished them for no fucking reason. And then they get around God again. They're like, these motherfuckers, while we were suffering, was out here eating motherfucking mangoes under the sun all day. You know what I'm saying? And tapping into God, doing all this ancient, advanced technological shit, right? And fucking, whatever else. Walking through walls and shit. Of course they gonna be a little salty. And then on top of that, now, after all the shit we was doing in them caves, we ain't got nothing glorifiable, nothing to glorify about ourselves to teach our children. While these motherfuckers are whole motherfucking gods out here, they got all this shit in Kemet that's resembling that and all over the fucking planet. And it's just like, how do you get somebody that is that? Because like, of course they're gonna be envious. It's like, not only did you clean me up, teach me how to be, trying to teach me how to be God again, because it's your nature, you're still righteous, you weren't affected by the calamity or ice age or whatever, right? So it makes sense. We empathize. That's the reason why we will never do to them what they did to us, which is slavery, because we're still righteous. Even though we went through all of that, we know it was just a affliction that was just the consequence of what Source needed to do to make us all better. Because not to say I'm okay in it, but just saying, like, I look at the broader perspective standing back. Like, God's probably thinking, okay, well, if I make them attack, it's like a body attacking itself. You're it's like, to be racist is like, or to do slavery is like shooting yourself in the foot. It's like your cells, like one part of your skin fighting with the other part of the skin. We're all, the earth skin. So it makes no sense. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's like, okay, so they, we empathize with them. Like, oh, okay, you're just hurting. You know what I'm saying? You felt like God forsaked you or whatever they call it, right? You feel like God punished you for something you did nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. So even though we might feel some type of way about them because of what they did to us in slavery, we're still not going to do the same thing that they did to us to them, even if we do. Even when we reach power again. So, but yeah, it's just to say, like, we understand. It's not that we don't okay it in no any way, shape, or fashion. But it's just like we have to empathize and understand, like, okay, you're being manipulated by lower level entities because you're at a vulnerable state while you were still trapped in the ice. So, okay, that makes sense. So why would I be mad at you for lashing out when you were just hurting? So, but it's gonna be, it just gotta be after, because they like, all right, well, if I'm going to hell from everything, if they're going to hell for everything they did to us, they're like, I want to take as many as people with me when I go, because I know I'm going. You don't just do what they did to us in slavery and think that ain't nothing gonna happen to you, right? So they're like, I'm gonna make y'all us and try to make us y'all, so we reap y'all benefits and get to heaven, which makes no sense. But they're not functioning in a healthy mindset. They're still afflicted by the and whatever elements they've attained through being through all that shit, right? And so yeah, just to put it in perspective that, it's like they had to, they're like, no, y'all coming with us. That's not fair. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, no, we not. No, we not. And it's just like, you see, okay, no, some of us, I'll give you that. Because they doing everything in their power to distort us. Like, to make us them. To fight our own kind, to do all the shit they was doing in them caves, to self-sabotage, self-destruct, you name it, right? And they're giving it all they got. But some of us still, God be God and, God be working. So it's just like, even though we've been through everything we've been through, it's still like, we still got activated. Mission's still going to get, completed regardless. we're going to, once we get ourselves right, we get enough, I'm not even going to say all the plans or nothing, because you know how it goes. Um, but yeah, once we get right, then we'll be able to help them, not save them, because they got to save themselves. I feel like God will work something out with them if, as long as they, you know what I'm saying, they're sincere, they're genuine. They're like, okay, we just, did that because we were being controlled by this entity, right? That they started worshiping while they were down bad. Okay, that makes sense. God's still gonna get your ass, but because we know God, you know. The infinite genie, your wish is my command. So whatever frequency you put out there is what you get back. It does not matter. The infinite, the universe doesn't know no. It only knows yes. Your wish is my command. So if you put out that energy, that's why they say watch what you think, watch what you do, because the universe don't know the difference. It's like whatever you're emitting at your frequency is what you're asking for. You know what I'm saying? So if it's like you're sitting there thinking negative thoughts, the universe is like, I wish you wouldn't think like that, but okay, here you go. You know what I'm saying? I love you, but you asked for this, And it's kind of like that with them too. So it's just like, I still believe that wicked people don't get punished for what they do, because that's their nature. That's like a snake getting punished for biting you. And you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. God's not going to be like, I created you to do this, but you're going to hell because you did what I created you to do. No. The lion got to eat. You know what I'm saying? So if you're out there, that's just you know what I'm saying? That's just a unfortunate thing to us, because we're looking at it from a human perspective. But in God's perspective, he's like, they got to eat too, Or like with the snake is not going to eat you, but it's still put that venom in your ass and you up out of here. And God's like, but that's what I created it to do. So when you look at the wicked people and their nature, you're like, oh, that's what you're created to do. I'm created to do righteous or virtuous things, to be in God frequency, to reach towards that. You're the push that I need to gain the strength to reach towards that. Otherwise, I'd probably be lazy or lethargic. You know what I'm saying? Not really have enough passion, because there's nothing to push against. There's nothing pulling me back that makes me like, okay, I see the goal, but I can't get to it because of this. Regardless of the power structure, people, motherfuckers doing spell work, whatever, right? And it's just like, you see past all that. But it's only because of the opposition that you like able to reach towards that. Because otherwise you would just be like, well, I mean, it's going to be there. It's sitting there on the shelf. I mean, why do I need to do it right now? Because there ain't no rush, But they what lights the fire up under us. But that gives us the ability to be like, okay, now we got the fire up under us. We max out on our training and what we're supposed to be doing here, like saving everybody. Well, not saving everybody, but like activating. So then that way other people, you know what I'm saying? Like when we save ourselves, other people get around us and save themselves, So like some people going to stay. People love the chaos. People love the matrix, and they'll fight for it, their own chaos, and fight for the matrix, right? So there's different kinds of people. It's a big word out there, right? But it's still like, just from you being like, when we reach the peak of civilization again, it's gonna like, you see how like what's dominant right now is wicked shit. You can see it all over the media. You see it in anywhere you go, right? But when we reach the peak of civilization again, and the righteous people reach the, are in power again, then you'll see it go back to, oh, okay, there's like some shit going on, but dominantly, like mostly it's nothing but good shit, It's nothing but, righteous stuff going on. That's the reason why we're able to advance and to build a utopia, But it's a lot. Let me finish this first.
We all going down. You know what I'm saying? If we don't have more people that's actually speaking truth and doing good deeds and shit like that, then it's all hell in the handbasket. But you know, uh, of course, I'm sure if you know me, then you know the reasons why I choose not to speak yet. Not to say, because like God don't play that. He don't give a fuck what your circumstances is. That's why shit keeps going wrong for me. Because it's like he's like, nigga, I said what I said. I don't give a fuck what your excuses is, nigga. If you don't do what the fuck I told you, I'ma flip all this shit over. You know what I'm saying? And he do every time, without fail. I think I'm about to get a job and get my shit together. He'll knock all that shit over. Oh, I think I'm about to get married, get a woman, have kids, have a happy life, knock all that shit over. Nigga, what the fuck I tell you to do? Every single time, without fail. Every single time. And y'all keep playing with him, you know, thinking shit sweet. That's the reason why I'm telling you, is because it's like, it's not going to work. I'm telling you, my whole life was shit, because it's like, I thought I was going to tell him what the fuck I was going to do. Oh, well, I'm about to, no, I like.
And this is before I found out about all the witches, warlocks, witchcraft, spell work, all the, you know, motherfuckers tampering with shit, motherfuckers sending, you know, people towards me and all that, right? So, I mean, I knew, but I didn't have the knowledge I have now. I always thought like I was tripping. So in this recording, I'm thinking that was still when I was in the mindset before I was, before I found out that all the shit that they were doing and who was all doing it. So yeah. So now that was me saying like, okay, my life was shit because God wanted me to be tough. I say it's them. You know, the lower level, the people who are being controlled, and also God being like, well, ain't shit out of my hands. You know what I'm saying? I definitely had my hands in that, but you gonna see why I had my hands in that. I needed you to go through this so you can become my, you know what I'm saying, my right hand man or whatever. You can go do all the shit I told you to do, you know? And you're not gonna do that if you ain't got the perception or the endurance, the strength, or whatever you gonna gain from all the shit you're going through to be able to do what I told you to do. So never curse God for what you're going through, even if it looks the utmost grim, because it's like, yes, even though I went through so much, it's still like I know now. I've been seeing God work throughout my whole life, but I got down when I thought, you know what I'm saying? Because that was part of it, was to be down. I didn't see that I was thinking God was just like forgot about me or something. But no, it was just like, that was part of it. That was like, you know, you reach rock bottom and then he pulls you up, you know what I'm saying? And then that's what, you know, makes you like, oh, okay, so you wasn't just, it wasn't like I was punished for no reason or paying for something I did in the past life or something like that. I had all type of thoughts going through my mind. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Damn, it's reaching an hour again? Fuck. So I'll probably have to stop this one and make another one. Damn, this shit can take forever. Alright. We'll see how many we can do. I'm going to try to split them up so then that way it won't take as long to upload. And, you know, it's not like somebody got to sit there and watch like a, you know what I mean? Like a, I mean, you can watch it as long as you want to, but, I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. It just makes it easier for, I feel like, me and but yeah, definitely for me with the uploading part. 'Cause that shit, woo, shit I'll be going through. Yeah. It's almost that hour. That's good enough.